Hi and welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'll go over landing pages for pressure washing businesses. So who am I? Why should you listen to me? Well, I'm Alex Cho from ZBPPC, and over the past few years, I've worked with dozens of pressure washing businesses across the country, helping them grow using Google Ads. And if you're interested in working together, I offer a free 15-minute discovery call. The link is in the description below. So why do landing pages matter for Google Ads? So ads will get them to click, but your landing page will inform and convince them to call and contact you. Google Ads, it's a big investment, and it's important to design a high converting landing page to effectively capture leads. Otherwise, honestly, you're just wasting your time and money. And you can have the world's best ads, right? But if your landing page is bad, you're not going to get nearly as many leads and jobs as you could. So you may ask, what makes a great landing page? Well, the overall goal with a landing page is to convert visitors into leads. You ideally want your Google Ads to go to a separate landing page, not your main website. And this is because a landing page is focused on one specific goal, like getting a call or a form submission related to your ad. So your website has too many options and it can distract people, making them less likely to contact you. Right? And then it needs to be highly relevant to the visitor's needs and problem. You need to make it easy to get in contact with you, and you need to build trust in your business. So I've listed some general criteria here. So we have a clear call to action, right? So this is telling people exactly what you want them to do next. If someone clicks on your ad, they're interested. Your landing page needs to tell them right away in a way that's easy to see, call now or get a free quote. If they don't know what to do, they might just leave the page. And then a lot of people use their phones nowadays to look for pressure washing services. So if someone clicks your Google ad on their phone, your landing page, it needs to look good and work well on mobile. And if it's hard to see or use on a phone, they will probably just leave and you just wasted money on an ad click. So then also when someone clicks on your ad, right, the landing page they go to should be about the same thing as the ad. For example, if your ad is about house washing, the landing page should talk specifically about house washing, not say fence cleaning, for example. So if the page isn't what they expected, they're just going to leave. And this is called message match, and this is really important. And so after they click your ad, your landing page needs to make it instantly clear and simple for them to reach out. So think prominent call options, especially a click to call number for phone users and a short, easy form if they prefer to fill that out. And then we have fast load. So people don't like to wait for websites to load, right? So if your landing page is taking too long to show up after someone clicks on your ad, they just make you tired of waiting and leave before they even say your page. And again, you paid for a click that just didn't even matter at all. And then we have trust signals. So when people see your ad, they might not know if they can trust your business, right? So things like good reviews from other customers or badges such as from the Better Business Bureau, Angie's List, your Google reviews, etc. They show that you are a trusted business and can help people feel safer, right? And if they feel safe and they trust you, they are more likely to get in contact with you. And then finally, last but not least, is simple layout, right? So your landing page, it should be pretty easy to look at and understand. If there's too much stuff on the page or it's too confusing, people might get overwhelmed and leave. So a simple page really helps them focus on what you want them to do, like calling you for help, for example. You usually don't want lots of links to other pages because you want them to stay on your landing page and get in contact with you. All right, so now I want to show you some examples of good and bad pressure washing landing pages I found across the US while searching on Google for, quote, pressure washing services, followed by different cities. So let's start off with the bad examples first. So before I do this, right, I'm not hating on any of these companies, no offense to any of them. All right, so this is one of the landing pages, and as you can see, it brings you to a page with the header being professional painting services, just very irrelevant to pressure washing services. And if someone comes here, they see this, they're just going to get confused and leave, most likely. Quick examples. And this is another one that came from a ad that showed up for Google search for pressure washing services, Dallas, I believe. That's the search that I did. And this one, again, completely irrelevant to pressure washing services. This is parking lot striping. So there's that. And here's another, I guess, more of a pretty bad example. This is a landing page from an ad. It goes directly to the main website's like contact us page, right? And this doesn't provide any real specific information relative to the ad. Maybe a little bit down here, but overall, I would not drive people to just the contact page, right? You need to give them more information and get them to trust you and learn more about your specific services and whether they can help them. So, all right, let's go to a few other, I would say not great examples, but better than the other ones. So for this one doesn't have any clear, prominent call to action on the top. It does have pressure washing services here in the header. Then it does, all of these images right here, they all look like stock images. And there's no real mention here of the specific types of pressure washing services, I believe, such as driveway cleaning or fence cleaning or house washing, etc. It looks like they're just generally talking about their pressure washing services. And then there's no customer reviews on this particular site. And then, oh, this is one thing, right? So they do have a call to action right here towards the very bottom. And they have the service areas. But then once you click on this watch to get your free quote, you can always call them. But then the form here is broken. They need to fix that. All right. So here's another one. So this is just their homepage, this company's homepage, and the content is not specifically designed for a pressure washing services search and ad. And then you have the call to action here, which is fine, and there's a call to action here, which is bigger, but this is kind of small. And then one thing I noticed too, all right, let it readjust. Okay, on mobile, right? A lot of this stuff up here, it's the navigation bar, it's a little bit too distracting and it's pretty much unreadable. And the social media icons are like, you can't really make them out, at least on the top, but I guess you can when it scrolls down to the bottom. And then another thing is that they do cover the services here and get a free quote. It's at the bottom. But another thing is that the reviews follow you around the page at the bottom. And there's only one review, but it's 5 stars, so that's definitely good. But I think it would be better to honestly to have something like the call to action button follow you around rather than the reviews. A click to call or a click to message or go to the form submission website. All right. Then here's another example. All right. So this one, again, it's coming from a search ad with when I was doing the search for pressure washing services. And as you can see, this is a house washing service page on their website. So there's not really a great message match. It's not really aligned with a search for well aligned with a pressure washing services search. This just needs to be the landing page for a separate house washing ad group targeting house washing keywords. And then one thing I noticed, let's switch it over to mobile to take a look, right? And as you can see, look at it like this. So as you can see, right, while we're able to see on desktop the call, what's notably missing here on top, right, is the call to action on mobile. So again, we have the call right here, but then once we look at it on mobile, you are not able to see the call button. Then scrolling down a bit, so they have some information about their company, why house washing services is important, and then this is not house washing. This looks like a sidewalk. So that's not the best picture to include there. And then we do have a call to action, but it's more towards the very bottom of the page. So get a free quote. They do have the FAQs, and there are also no customer reviews or any sort of social proof badges here. So it was pretty easy to find examples of bad landing pages, which can be great for your company, right? That means that the bar is pretty low to stand out when creating your own landing page. So I did find one example of a quote unquote good landing page or better landing page that I do like. So this is Innovation Power Washing. I believe they're just using this is just their main website. They're using as a landing page, but I thought it was not bad. They have the relevant text up here with pressure washing and then the calls to action, right? They have to get a quote and then they have their phone number here. And then also let's switch it over to take a look at it on mobile. Let's see, let me refresh it. It looks a little bit cut off on mobile. Then you have, what I like about it though, is that you have more information about the company. Then we have another call to action. Then we have the different pressure washing services, right? Gutter cleaning, commercial pressure washing, fence cleaning, etc. And then we have reasons to choose this particular company, innovation, more calls to action. You have frequently asked questions. Then you have yet another call to action. And you have a section for the reviews. Right here, there are 134 Google reviews. And then finally, a form right here. And then their services and their service area. So overall, I thought this one was not bad. It does look a little bit cut off. I don't think it may just be the way that I'm viewing it right now, but that's okay. I think overall that was a very decent, pretty good landing page, right? And then actually, I created one myself, right? So using an AI tool called Lovable, I created this landing page in 5 minutes. I'd say with a pretty detailed prompt based on best practices for local service lead generation websites. I didn't edit this to show how far technology has come, while at the same time, I want to show the limitations of some of these services right now. I want it to be really realistic if you end up doing this yourself. So to take a look at this right now, as you can see, this image that they somehow chose for the background, this is not related at all to pressure washing services. It's kind of funny. I don't know how they got that, but we can go through this pretty quickly. There's a big form right here to get a free quote. You have the call buttons. You have pressure washing right up here in the text, and then short blurb, then some benefits, and you have a bunch of trust badges. Again, this is just what Lovable produced from a prompt. I have not gone in and edited it. Obviously, you would do something like that. Edit the images and then the text to make it specifically for your company. These services aren't quite at the point where they can just create something 100% perfect and ready to go with like a minimal amount of information. You need to go in after the fact and do edits yourself. Maybe in the future it'll be that easy, but right now this is where we're at, which is still honestly it's great, it's amazing, and these tools, they make it very easy to create high quality landing pages for businesses with not a huge amount of, you don't necessarily need to have a large amount of technical knowledge. But we have like the different trust badges here. We have an outline of the pressure washing services. You can see they put Vietnamese street food carts or food truck here for house washing. Not sure how that's relevant, but that's what we got. Different services, a button for get a free quote. Then we have some space for before and after transformations. Yet another call to action button. Then we have the social proof section where we have a bunch of reviews from customers. Then we have an outline of the services and how the service works, and then reasons why they should choose our pressure washing company, and frequently asked questions, and then a map with the service area. Although the map doesn't really line up with the service area, but still, this is still pretty good for just writing a prompt and then pressing enter. And then we have at the bottom, we have this final get a quote form submission and some information on the bottom hours of operation. So again, I was able to generate this. It took me a little while to come up with a prompt, but Lovable was able to generate this in a matter of 5 minutes. And I think that it's much better than some of the existing landing pages out there. So as you can see, the bar, I would say, is pretty low, and it's pretty easy to beat or overcome or outmaneuver the competition when it comes to creating a high converting landing page that will get you leads and jobs. So then I'll create a separate video on how to create this yourself if you're interested. But as for this video, that's pretty much it. So if you're interested in working together, again, you can schedule a free 15-minute discovery call with me in the link below. And then if you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe. I drop new Google Ads tutorials and tips every week.